happy Friday. Welcome to you. My name is Craig, and I'm here for the Friday live stream that I do every Friday here at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining me today. So, I know we've got a few people already here in the chat live. We lost our Facebook connection. We're going to get that back up next week. So, if you're used to watching on Facebook, I apologize that it's not there this week. But yeah, we'll get that taken care of. Anyway, today I'm going to be going over some streaming news. And I'm going to do that first. Okay, so before I get to the chat, it's over here, right? Yeah, the chat. Before I get to the chat, I'm going to go over the streaming news. It'll take me a few minutes, but I think I like this format that we've come up with recently, where I go over the news first, and then we'll talk about what that news means, what your thoughts on it are, and then. By the way, once I'm done going over these news items, one thing we're going to do is talk about the 2022 predictions that I made this week in my Wednesday video on the channel. So lots to look forward to. I do want to point out before I get into those news items that we generally do a giveaway. This page, weekly giveaways, reviews.org/giveaways. I will be announcing a winner from last week's giveaway. But we are going to take a little bit of a break from these for now, just because with holiday breaks, a lot of the reviews.org folks who administer these giveaways, they're taking some well-earned and much-needed vacation days. So we're going to take a break from that for a couple weeks. We'll come back with the weekly giveaways in January, but I will announce a winner later on in this stream. Okay, so let's see. I want to make sure, yeah, everybody can hear me. Yeah, it seems like everybody can hear me. Okay, so news of the day. Let's first things first. Let's talk about this. This is kind of an interesting one. Let's see if I can share my screen here. There we go. You know what? Let's just share a window. There we go. All right. How's this? There we go. Now we can add that to the stream. All right. So we've got this is from 9 to 5 Google. T-Mobile is going to start selling a new Google TV dongle with built-in Ethernet that Chromecast lacks. Okay, so I guess that's one detail that it's got there. But this caught my eye because if you're a fan of the channel, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I'm a big fan of the Google TV platform, the interface that they've built there. But one of the only places you can get it, yeah, it's sprinkling around nowadays with a few smart TVs and whatnot, but one of the only ways you can get it is with the Chromecast, the new Chromecast that came out late last year. And so if there's a new device that's going to be integrating Google TV, I'm interested. I want to know more about it. And that's the case here. So what's interesting about this is that it's T-Mobile. Now you can see right here, they're calling it the the T-Vision Hub. Which is interesting because that's something I think they sold something called that a while ago, but stopped doing it. Okay, so what do we know about this? It runs Google TV. They're saying that it's going to be more powerful than the Chromecast. It's going to have a better chipset. So it's a newer and stronger chip than what's found in the Chromecast. So that's good. It comes with AV1 decoding, which, don't get me started. It's a whole thing, and it doesn't really matter all that much. But let's see. Okay, so we know it's got this Ethernet hub here on it, which the Chromecast doesn't have. You can get around that. You can find add-ons, ways that you can add Ethernet to your Chromecast, but it doesn't come like that out of the box. So this one does, which means it's going to have a much thicker profile than the Chromecast, right? So in order to incorporate an Ethernet hub, they got to have a thicker dongle, which, can we just take a break and note that the word dongle is the best and worst thing to happen to tech in the last, I don't know, 20 years? Just the word dongle. That I have to say that so often is kind of a crime. Okay, so so we've got the Hub by T-Vision. Let's see what else. It is going to be 4K UHD compatible, but we don't know a ton more about it other than that as far as specs. But they did give us a little glimpse of the remote here, but they've covered up this one. So obviously you've got YouTube down here, you've got Netflix right here. And what is this? Clearly with the pink, it's some T-Mobile branded button. So a streaming service of some kind. But the T-Mobile had a streaming service and they shut that down earlier this year. So anyway, point being, I wanted to put this on your radar in case you, like me, are a fan of the Chromecast and of Google TV more specifically. if somebody can come up with, if Google, for instance, can come up with a device that's better than the Chromecast but gives me Google TV, I'm all for it. This one, the plan with this is to ship this for free to T-Mobile home internet subscribers. So just one more incentive for people to sign up for that once that is kind of uh, more ubiquitous, I guess. Once it reaches more markets, they'll be able to get that one going. Okay, so now the other big news, and this one, thanks again to Jared Newman, whom I stan hard as far as other tech reviewers go. I think he's great over at Tech Hive. He does a good Friday newsletter. So let's see, let's pull him up here. YouTube versus Disney. Okay, so this is something, or YouTube TV versus Disney. This is something that you probably want to know about. Okay, so where are we at? YouTube versus Disney. 5 things about the possible blackout. So if you haven't heard of this, basically, YouTube TV just got out of their big blow up with Roku that lasted. It was a slow motion blow up. It lasted 9 months at least. So Roku and Google were fighting about YouTube or YouTube TV first, and then YouTube, and then they sorted that out in the 11th hour. But now YouTube TV and Disney are having their little spat. It's a carriage dispute. Basically, Disney owns a whole bunch of channels that are broadcast, live TV channels that are broadcast on cable and satellite and whatnot. And they're also broadcast on a lot of these live TV streaming providers. So YouTube TV, Hulu Live, et cetera, et cetera. So we're talking things like the Disney Channel, obviously, but also ESPN is owned by Disney. ABC is owned by Disney. In fact, if I go down here, oh yeah, local channels are on the line. That's one of the things that Jared points out here. You would think that that a broadcast station like your local ABC station wouldn't be affected by a dispute like this. Oh, I'm sorry, I need to blow that back up. There we go. Local channels are on the line. But those local channels are affected, and so if this happens, if the blackout goes into effect, basically what would happen is Disney would pull their channels from YouTube TV, or YouTube TV would kick the Disney channels, whichever direction it goes. So that's it is a possibility, and it would include local channels, which is rough. So. Oh, let's see let's see what Jared says. First of all, he says it'll probably work out, and this is something that I've been kind of harping on for a while. Yeah, I mean, you guys remember because Roku and Google made that deal in the 11th hour. I turned out to be right, thank goodness, because my prediction for the last year has been that it'll probably work out. Roku can't afford to lose YouTube, especially, and so they're going to find some way to make a deal. And I think the same thing, and I think Jared's making kind of the same thing here. There's a long history of these carriage disputes, and of them being resolved at the last second before the blackout goes into effect. And it looks like that'll probably be the case here, because Disney-owned channels are extremely popular. Okay, so we mentioned the Disney Channel, ESPN, ABC. There are some other ones that he lists here that I was. Let's see. Okay, the Disney bundle. Oh yeah, let's see. FX. That's right, because Disney owns Fox now. They own Fox and FX. Yeah. So anyway, it's just a lot of channels that that could be affected by this. So anyway, something to be aware of. Let's see if there anything else. Let's see. Oh, that's right. So in a blog post, this was great. He says, in a blog post, YouTube says that if it can't reach a deal with Disney, customers should consider subscribing to the separate Disney bundle, which includes Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu's on-demand service for $14 a month. Well, that's great. Thanks for the tip, except that this doesn't actually cover most of the broadcast channels and the content that people actually watch on their Disney channels. So it's like, okay, thanks. That does me no good. But anyway, so if the blackout does occur, yeah, you can sign up for the Disney Plus bundle, but you're not going to get all that stuff. You'll probably have to hop over to Hulu Live or Fubo TV or whatever. And then he's got this one here. Don't be surprised if price hikes result. And then this is absolutely a thing. Now, I should say, if it goes through, YouTube TV has said that they would lower their price if they don't get a deal, if they don't make a deal with Disney, then they would lower their price to $50 a month, so $15 off their current package price, which is all fine and everything, but you're there for the content, and I'm guessing that a huge chunk of people who subscribe to live TV streaming services are there for something like ESPN. So if you're not getting it, you're probably just going to jump ship. Anyway, but he does say, don't be surprised if price hikes result, and I absolutely agree with that. So yeah, we'll see. And this actually kind of gets us into something else that I mentioned I wanted to talk about, which was my predictions. Because one of my predictions was that YouTube TV's price would go up this year, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Let me see if there's any other news I want to mention. Speaking of raising prices, you know what? Actually, this is one that's good to mention. Let's see. Here we go. This one comes from the TV Answer Man. Okay. But it's just the version of this article that I pulled up. So DirecTV Stream raising prices in January too. Now, DirecTV Stream, you may or may not be subscribed to it. So if you are, obviously this directly affects you. If you're not, you may feel like I don't care that much. But it's always good to keep track of this type of announcement, just because the industry, what do they say? The rising tide lifts all boats. Well, sometimes, it sinks, it lifts, whatever. They're all boats playing in the same harbor. And so if the water goes up or down, that matters. And so this is kind of an indication that the prices could continue to rise through 2022. I think they will. All right. So let's see. DirecTV Stream announced that it will raise the choice plan from $85 a month. Oh, here, let's see if I can blow that up even a little bit more, from 85 to 90 a month. Now this doesn't affect the cheapest package. Let's see, what's their regular package is still $70 a month. Where does it say that? Oh, maybe that's not in this article. Their entry level, or what are they? Words taste like peaches. I don't understand how to think of words. But their base, there you go. Their base package, I think, is still going to be $70 a month, but everything after that will raise by $5 or $10. And as this article notes, the choice plan is the first one. It's the lowest. There we go. The cheapest DirecTV Stream package that offers regional sports channels. So if you're in it for regional sports, this is definitely going to matter for you. So, and I think that's a lot of what drives these price hikes. It's sports. Sports is the last great bastion of surefire revenue for live TV streamers. And so with regional sports especially, there are very, very nitpicky contracts going on as far as carriage and whatnot. So we'll see what happens with this one, but it's good to know that DirecTV Stream, like I said, even if you're not subscribed to them, it's good to know that they're raising their prices, because as goes one, so go many. So, here we go. Let's see, $5 a month increase, $7 on the choice, $8 a month on extra, $10 a month on all the rest. My word. Oh, and it's also good to note that if you're a DirecTV Now legacy subscriber, so this is the old version, DirecTV Now, this will affect you. So often we see, like, hey, we're changing the name of our streaming service. If you're on the legacy system, it's you'll get carryover, right? You'll get your old price indefinitely. Great, fine. But in this case, they're saying, even those legacy subscribers are going to see their prices go up by $10 a month. That's where we have Live a Little, Just Right, Go Big, Gotta Have It. Those are the old names from from DirecTV Now. So there we have it. All right. So there's some news items for us to dig into a little bit. And I want to talk about predictions a little bit. So let me catch up with the chat a little bit. I did see somebody say, let's see. Joel says, I'm dropping YouTube TV if they drop ESPN. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people are there. It's not the only channel that those people watch, but it's an important one, right? It's a make or break. You've got to have ESPN, and Disney knows that, and they throw that weight around a lot. Let's see. Joel also asks Fubo or Hulu Live, which is better? Ooh. Oh gosh. I've always said Hulu Live, but their price is going up in 4 days. I think it goes into effect on the 21st, maybe the 22nd. But their price is going now from 65 to $70 a month. But your subscription to Hulu Live will also get you the rest of that package, the Disney Plus package deal. So you'll get Hulu Live, obviously, you get Hulu on demand, you get Disney Plus, and you get ESPN Plus, all of that for $70. So is it too much money? I don't know. It kind of depends on if you would be subscribed to all those things anyway. Technically, if you were going to, or if you had the deal before, it's almost a wash. You're saving maybe a couple bucks a month now that they're raising the price to 70 and including all those things. But yeah. So anyway, their price is going up. It's hard for me to say Hulu because of that. However, my prediction for YouTube TV holds for Fubo as well, which is in 2022, they're all going to be raising those prices a little bit. And so I think 65 was the norm in 2021. I think 70 will be the norm in 2022. Once we settle in after a few months of 2022, I think. So that being said, I like both of them, but I would prefer the Hulu Live package just because of how much you get with it. But they both have their pros and cons. So tough to say. All right. So I'm not going to try to catch up on everything you guys have said, but I'm going to kind of look at the last few. And so if you asked something earlier and you want to make sure I get to it, maybe consider dropping it in the chat again. Lance asks, can you explain more on what you mean that if you get the Disney bundle, you don't get the content you actually want? The content you want is the content you want. And I don't know what that is. But what I mean is if you're subscribed to a live TV service, whether it's cable or satellite or streaming like YouTube TV, you're getting Disney-owned channels. So Disney, ESPN Disney Channel, ESPN, ABC, FX. I know I'm missing a bunch. I think they own some of like the kind of the unscripted channels. I can't remember. Did they own A&E? No, is that right? No, that's not right. Anyway, they own a bunch of channels. Point being, those channels that you're familiar with from your cable subscription are not anywhere to be found in Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, or Hulu. Right. So you're going to get some crossover of content, especially on Hulu. But like on ESPN Plus, they're not carrying the same programming as ESPN. Right? These are different things. Eventually, I'd like ESPN to have its own streaming service. That would be great. But for now, they have ESPN Plus, which has alternate kind of tertiary programming. Think of it this way. It's like you got ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, et cetera, et cetera. And then you've got ESPN Plus carrying all the stuff that they don't have room for on their broadcast channels. And the same goes for other channels as well. So let's say if you get so Lance is asking about the Disney bundle. Well, let's say you've got kids and you subscribe to YouTube TV because they love to watch the Disney Channel on cable. You're not going to get that on any of these services. So you have to subscribe to a broadcast or an MVPD multi-channel video, but whatever. I can't remember all the acronyms off the top of my head. But yeah, you have to subscribe to a live TV service to get those. You can't get them through the streaming channels. All right. I did not. Okay, so David says somebody named Craig on this channel recently predicted that Fubo is going away in 2022. I did not. Actually, I was talking about Philo. So this is one of the Oh, okay. Sorry, real quick. History Channel, A&E. Okay, so A&E owns 50% of the History Channel. Okay, that's good to know. Sorry, back to this one. Yeah, my prediction, and I admit, I would be not just fine with being wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong on this one. But as I was kind of sifting my tea leaves for 2022, making a video this week, I made the prediction that some live TV streamer will fall. And as I was looking at, and I'm not talking about the fly by night stuff, right? I'm talking about the major services, the kind of, you talk the big 5 or 6 that are out there. And the one that I predicted was Philo. And it's not because I don't like Philo. I really like Philo. I think it's a fantastic service that does a great job in a lot of ways, et cetera, et cetera. It's just that the niche that Philo filled for several years, versus something like Sling TV, like YouTube TV, Hulu Live, the niche that Philo filled was for those who wanted to cut the cord and didn't care about sports or news. So a lot of things like the History Channel, A&E, what the Food Network and DIY Network, and that kind of the cable channels that weren't sports and news, that weren't broadcast networks. Yeah, anyway, those channels that you're familiar with, a lot of those are now available for really, really cheap on demand. So it's not the same as live TV, but you can subscribe to Discovery Plus and get, what is it, 19 seasons or 29 seasons of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. You can get all the Chip and Joanna Gaines stuff. You can get all the A&E, or not A&E content, whatever. I'm so confused. What are channels? What is truth? Who am I? Anyway, point being, that was their niche, or is their niche, Philo TV. And that niche is now, I think, becoming less and less relevant. So if I had to guess in 2022, if anybody falls, it's going to be Philo, which is too bad. So there you go. Let's see. Do you receive free over the air channels at your locations? If you do, would you like to see over the air? If you do, would like to see over the air DVR reviews. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I've done some antenna reviews. I haven't done a lot of over the air DVR reviews. I feel like I did one, but yeah, okay. That's taken under advisement, though. That is kind of a bit of a gap in my coverage here on the channel. So that's a good call. Let's see. There you go. Jacob says, the only thing I watch is Grey's Anatomy and Station 19, so I can watch that on Hulu. There you go. There you go. All right. Best alternative. Darian asks for best alternative to YouTube TV. Yeah, kind of earlier I was waffling between Fubo and Hulu. I would err on the side of Hulu. Liam asks, hey, how are you, man? I'm all right. A couple of months ago, I had shoulder issues. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's flaring up again. I have tendonitis in my shoulder, and so using that shoulder is very, very painful. So right now, I do this thing when this shoulder thing flares up where I can't really lift. I can't very easily lift my arm in that way, but it doesn't hurt to have it in certain positions. It just hurts to move it there. So I'll use my left arm to pick up my hand, put it on my mouse, and then I can leave it, and we're good. So that's how I am. Thanks for asking. I'll also say, I'm repping Wheelwright Lumber. Who cares? It's when I built this studio that I went to Wheelwright Lumber a lot. And I'm in a hoodie. I'm super cash because last week was nuts. I don't know if you guys were here for last week's live stream, but it was crazy. And today I was like, you know what? Not doing that. We're just chilling out. So, all right. ESPN Plus is 22 hours a day of UFC and 2 hours a day of Tom Brady specials. I I'm amused at how angry you are over it. But I disagree. Just because it's not a live TV service, right? They may have some live or like some live chat shows or whatever, but no, I'm not mad at the NHL for signing up because essentially what I get with this is NHL. It's the NHL version of MLB TV or NBA TV or whatever, where you get all the out of market NHL games. And since I'm from Seattle and I have enjoyed this year cheering for the not quite as crappy as I expected Kraken, I've enjoyed cheering for them, and so it's been good for me. And it's the service is what, $6 a month, so it's a very, very cheap way to get NHL content, UFC content, and indeed Tom Brady specials, or Peyton Manning for that matter. So let's see. Have you seen No Way Home yet? No, I'm gonna go see that tonight. So we'll see how it goes. I've missed the last couple Marvel movies. I'm a huge nerd. You guys can see these are all fantasy and sci-fi books behind me. I'm a huge nerd. I run a fantasy sci-fi podcast, and Marvel movies have been, a big deal for the last decade and a half ish. And I just after Loki on Disney Plus, I was just like, yeah, I'm not out necessarily. I just don't keep as much track. So have I seen No Way Home yet? No, but I will tonight. And I haven't seen The Eternals, and I haven't seen Shang-Chi. So I'm a little behind, and I find myself not caring. Darian says, yeah, it's kind of saying what I said. Philo, yeah, it's a great service, but the niche is shrinking. So yeah, it's a whole thing. Discovery Plus, 500 seasons of House Hunters, an awfully compelling show, especially if you don't know any of the stories behind the scenes. Apparently behind the scenes it's not so charming, but let's see. Aaron says Discovery Plus is the best deal in streaming. I'm inclined to actually agree. Pound for pound, it is an amazing deal. I don't actually watch it. I subscribe to it partly because I subscribe to everything for this channel, but it's got stuff that my wife watches a lot, and so even though I don't watch it, it's not for me. I can recognize that is, I think it's still $5 a month. It might be $6 now. Anyway, Discovery Plus is a crazy good deal for the content they've got on there. And why is that? Basically because unscripted content is orders of magnitude cheaper to produce than scripted content. So let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys are going quick. I can't keep up with you. Talking about my arm, ice and heat. Yeah, somewhere in the corner of this room I've got like an electric heating pad, and so the last time this happened, sleeping was really, really difficult. And so this, I don't know if you guys know this studio is an outbuilding. This is not attached to the house. And so the last time this happened to my shoulder, I would come out here and sleep on the couch next to me, and just put this electric heater on my shoulder all night. It was rough. Let's see. Frayden doesn't like ESPN Plus. Well, pack up shop. Frayden doesn't like it. No, I like it. I do wish that they had I wish that ESPN's regular content, if they put ESPN on ESPN Plus, it would be amazing, right? That would be an instant streaming juggernaut. But they have a ton of contracts out there. It's not so simple as just cutting off contracts and starting the streaming service. There's a lot that goes into it, so we're not going to get that anytime soon. But it is, I would like that. So let's see. Yeah, I hate when a live TV streaming service doesn't have one specific channel, but has everything else you want. So it's a deal breaker for me. Yeah, no, I hate that too. But it's cord cutting, kind of like like Uber. Uber was a disruptor, right? That was a big word 5 years ago. Disruption. And cord cutting is a disruption in the entertainment industry, and it really lives up to that moniker of a disruptor, where things are just really up in the air. I mean, nobody knows where everything's going to come down. How it's all going to shake out over the next 5 or 10 years as cable and satellite slowly die off and streaming becomes the norm. It'll settle into some form, but we don't know exactly what that's going to be yet. Let's see. Let's see. Reviews are saying that the new Spider-Man movie is the best of the trilogy. Yeah, well, I don't doubt it because it's got Benedict Cumberbatch in it. Yeah, I love that guy. Oops. Okay, let's see. All right, Frayden. All right, now we're getting into content. Okay, we've talked about Spider-Man and Marvel movies a little bit. All right, so usually I don't talk a ton about content, but let's get into this. Craig, I finished Invasion on Apple TV Plus and liked it a lot. I mean, it's described as something trying to take over humanity. A little slow at the start, but what about it? What didn't you like about it? It was. It's just not. It's not the. It's not the part of an alien invasion that I'm interested in. They made the decision. So if all of you aren't watching this, I'm not going to spoil anything, okay? But I will talk in generalities about it. So don't worry, I won't spoil anything for you if you haven't watched it yet. But it's on Apple TV Plus. It's a very slick show, very well produced, very well acted. Although it does suffer from the TV the TV curse. It's not curse blessing thing. Where everybody is more attractive than they would be in real life, So you have this like the Japanese aerospace engineer who's just unbelievably attractive. You're just like, and 22. You're like, okay, sure. I'm not saying that attractive people don't work in aerospace. I'm just saying like, what I'm talking about. Every doctor, every sheriff, every military person, every engineer, everybody is just like soap opera attractive. And it's weirdly distracting. But that's a side note. No, this what was it about it that I didn't like? Like you said, it was super slow to start. They called it Invasion, and it's all about, oh man, something's happening. Aliens are coming, and humanity is on the run. And there's no like, you don't get even a glimpse of the aliens until like five episodes in, and everything is super. I don't know what episode it is that it happens, but everything is super slow, and they concentrate on the human stories behind what would happen in an alien invasion, and that's fine to a certain extent, but where's the invasion? There's no invasion happening, at least not on screen. So yeah, it was a little frustrating that way. They wasted Sam Neill, which upset me. That was why I turned it on. I was like, oh dude, Sam Neill in an alien invasion show? And it turned out no, Sam Neill isn't really in the show, and it's not really about an alien invasion, at least not in the first season. So, but I did finish it. Yeah, well, anyway. All right, let's see. Let's see. Off-topic question: have you ever been noticed in public as someone from YouTube? I have not. Actually, if you watch, I've had her on the show, or had her on the channel a few times. Sherry from Whistle Out. She and I are buddies now, and she was telling me, I think she tweeted it the other day, that she went into a Best Buy and someone recognized her. Hey, are you Sherry from Whistle Out? That has never happened to me. I was recognized once from my other podcast. I mentioned the fantasy sci-fi podcast, and I was out at a book release, and I took a phone call. There was a break in the programming. I took a phone call. I think it was from my wife, and talked for a minute, hung up the phone, and the person sitting in front of me turned around and said, "Are you Craig from the Legendarium?" And they'd recognized my voice from having listened to the show. That's the one and only time I've ever been recognized, and it wasn't my incredibly 10 out of 10 handsome face that did it somehow. So no, not really. Let's see. ESPN Plus needs to hire developers who understand how the interwebs work. Maybe they need you, David. They need you to solve their problems, or me. I'll do it. I'll do it for lots of money. Let's see. Where are the streaming deals? Anything new? No, a lot of those deals kind of dried up with Black Friday, but I haven't kept up this week, so I apologize. I'm not prepared to answer this question, and I'm not going to take a guess. But if we have a few minutes a little bit later, I can look some up for you. Let's see. When will CNN Plus come out? That's a good question. I don't know. When CNN Plus. This is one that I'm actually. Oops. That I'm interested to find out. So let's. They just snagged Chris Wallace from Fox News, I think. Release date or launch date. Yeah, launch date. I don't know if they've announced it. Oh no. Okay, no, that's not right. It says it's to debut. Their press room says CNN Plus is going to debut in Q1 2022. So quarter one. So January, February, or March. So yeah, we don't have an exact date yet, as far as I can tell, unless there's any new news. Nope. So yeah, looks like Q1 next year. Oh, what should I watch tonight? Shoaib Hassan asks, what should I watch tonight? You should watch. You know what? It's the Christmas season, um, or the holiday season. I don't Shoaib. I don't know what you celebrate, if anything, around this time of year. But the nice thing about the holiday season is even if you're not celebrating, observing any religious holidays, you still get the benefit of everybody else around you celebrating it. So things slow down. And when things slow down, I always view that as a good time to go for a nostalgia watch. So instead of trying to keep up with the zeitgeist and watch the latest thing, I view this time of year as a great time to watch something, nostalgic. So maybe your favorite sitcom. I grew up watching Friends in the 90s and early 2000s. So I love going back and watching Friends. I've recently been rewatching Chuck. That was an NBC program from 2005 or so. So that kind of thing. Find something nostalgic for yourself and just relax. Yeah, it's a good way to relax and not have to worry about keeping up with the zeitgeist. Although if you do want to keep up with the zeitgeist, watch The Wheel of Time. So there you go. All right. Oh man, you guys are okay. Astro Josh says CNN Plus March 2022. Okay, good. That's good to know. All right. Ooh, this is a good question. John asks, what advantage is it for Roku to have its Roku channel on Fire TV devices? Excellent question. So, because the Roku channel is a free app, that means it's commercial supported. And because it's commercial supported, wherever you watch it, you're going to have to watch commercials. And those commercials put revenue in Roku's pocket. And so when you look at the market share of various streaming devices, Roku has, last time I checked, it's been a few months since I checked, but Roku has around 40%, I think a little bit less than 40% of the streaming device market in the US. So it's the biggest player. But next is Fire TV, and it's not much less. It's like just over 30%. So maybe I can look up the numbers in a minute. But anyway, point being, if you can take the Roku channel, which is a very well done, well curated, free entertainment app. I like it not just because I like Roku. I like it because the Roku channel is actually very good. So if you can take that and spread it out to the next biggest streaming device, Fire TV or platform, I guess, then you're just giving yourself more possibility to penetrate that market. And it has the added benefit of, if somebody on Fire TV pops into Roku TV and starts using that channel a lot, really enjoys it, it has that psychological effect of building a positive relationship with the name Roku. So eventually you will buy a Roku device or a Roku TV or whatever. So it benefits them a lot. Absolutely. I'm sure that they would like to be on every other streaming device too, on Apple TV and Google TV and all the, Android TV. But Fire TV is the one that was willing to make that deal. So it's all, we use the phrase, it's all about the money or follow the money or whatever. And sometimes that's not a pejorative. It's just the answer to the question. What advantage is it for Roku? More money. So there you go. All right. Let's see. Oh, Station 11. My wife was just talking about this yesterday. Station 11 on HBO Max. Maybe that was this morning. It's it's about a deadly pandemic, so it's clearly fiction. Nice. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, so I can't recommend it or not, but I did just hear about it today. All right. Okay. Frayden says, "My biggest gripe with ESPN Plus is why isn't Sports Center on it? Yeah, like at least put the flagship show on there." Yeah. I don't I used to watch Sports Center a lot when I was like in college. I don't really watch it anymore because I don't subscribe to any live TV services. So I don't watch it, but even when I had them, I didn't watch it. I didn't miss it. But it is their flagship show, and it would be nice, but I'm sure that there are either contractual or strategic implications there. Maybe they either cannot put Sports Center on ESPN Plus, or possibly it's just that they understand that that's a huge draw for a big segment of TV watchers, and so if they want to maintain uh, subscription rates and keep people watching the broadcast ESPN, then they need to keep Sports Center exclusive there. It could be a contractual issue where these carriers, something like AT&T, who owns DirecTV, they might say, yeah, we'll carry that, but you can't put any of that content. You can't put Sports Center or whatever on ESPN Plus. Maybe there's something like that going on, but I don't know for sure. Um, Why even make a CNN Plus? Does Warner have enough streaming services? I mean, it's like everything else. It's like every other streaming service and whatnot, where they're looking at the writing on the wall and seeing that traditional pay TV is on its way out, and streaming services are on their way up. And so they need to get started on that now before it's too late to hop on the trend. So. Let's see. Ooh. When will we start seeing streaming services coming as a bundle? Netflix, Disney, and Prime for a single fee? Is that what you mean to say? Um, in order for this to happen, there would need to be more inter corporate collusion than I'm comfortable with. At least the version of it that I'm thinking of. I'm sure we'll see something like this eventually. And we're seeing some things like this where Amazon Prime channels is a thing. So Roku channel does this as well, where you log into this thing and then you can subscribe to your or Apple does this. You subscribe to your premium channels through that service, so it's all on one bill. So you sign up for Prime Video, but you end up paying $30 for Prime Video channels, and you're getting, well, not HBO anymore. They jumped off, but you're getting Showtime and Stars and whatever the other ones are. So we're kind of seeing something like this, but I don't know if I want to see Netflix and Disney collude on a bundle. That could be a recipe for raising prices real quick. Have you watched the latest Wheel of Time? Yes, I watched it last night, and I'm all caught up. I'm a huge Wheel of Time fan, so I don't know. Yeah, right there. That's all the entire Wheel of Time series. I have it right there. In fact, that little plaque right there says "Let the Dragon Ride." Again, let the dragon ride again. That's all I could fit on there. Anyway, so yeah, I'm a big Wheel of Time fan, and so yeah, I'm very much keeping up with it. Do you think the Roku channel will come to Apple TV? Probably not. Probably not. It'd be nice if they did, but I think, yeah, I don't know. Apple is, they tend to be more exclusive than a company like Amazon. They don't really want to intermingle as much with other services. So there's that, and then there's the other practical implications. But yeah, I don't think so. Thumbs up for Craig. There you go. Hey, we need that on a t-shirt. Okay. Okay, let me see if I understand this. I've always wondered, why are streaming and cable, mostly cable, not so good quality-wise? Wouldn't using an HDMI cable for cable and streaming produce the same results? Cable is fiber. Boy, that's getting into some technical stuff that first of all, I at least half understand, but I don't know if I fully understand it. And so it would be a bad idea. It's like doing math. You don't do math live on TV, right? So this would be one where, how does it all work? What's the difference between the cable line versus the HDMI connection, and you're plugging this into the back of your TV, and how come this cable works better than that one? And look, that's over my head. If I'm being perfectly honest, like I say, I probably half understand it, but yeah, good question. Good question. All right. Let's see. I just want to make sure I'm kind of keeping up with you guys a little bit. Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann, man, that's good. That's going back. That's what, like mid to late 90s, maybe something like that. That was a long time ago. Ooh, what's the best streaming related Christmas present you ever gave or received? Wow. Ooh. I don't know if I've ever received a streaming related gift. I don't know if I've ever given. Oh, well, no, I mean, I know I have, but I'm thinking of specifically Christmas presents. I don't know that I've ever given a streaming related device or gift. I want to say I did no, that's not true. That's not true. 2 years ago, I did give someone, I got somebody signed up for I think it was the 2 or the 3-year Disney Plus bundle, where I was able to buy, or not bundle, the Disney Plus. It was like $7 a month when it launched, but if you signed up for 3 years, you could get it for, whatever it was, like $3 a month through certain things. And I had a friend who was a giant Disney stan, and so that was my gift to them that year, was like a 3-year Disney Plus subscription, because it turned out to be not crazy expensive. So, okay. Here we go. Let's see. I thought your point about the NFL streaming package changing hands will be a big disruptor. It was well said. So I assume you mean on the video that I released earlier this week. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's going to be massive. The only thing bigger, like the only potential thing bigger than that, is ESPN, the ESPN suite of channels. Once all of ESPN's content, whether it's Sports Center or whether it's, big football games or what have you, when ESPN's regular content is available on a streaming app, whether it's ESPN Plus or something else, traditional linear TV is dead. It's dead, done, floating in the water. But NFL Sunday Ticket is kind of like a smaller version of that. It's a more niche version of that, because it's the NFL specifically, and it's Sunday NFL specifically. So anyway, for those of you who don't know, NFL Sunday Ticket has been for years contractually tied to DIRECTV, the satellite provider, and it still is, but that contract is up in 2023. And when that contract is up, NFL Sunday Ticket will be sold to someone. Excuse me. We don't know who yet. Apple TV was in the mix. Amazon is in the mix now. I can't remember who else was thinking about it. But anyway, point being, yeah, it's going to be huge. And unfortunately for DirecTV, they're going to see a huge exodus when NFL Sunday Ticket leaves. And I think that's why they're pouring, AT&T is pouring so much energy and money into making their streaming services happen. Whether it's DirecTV Stream, or if it's like HBO Max is owned by AT&T. So yeah, they're trying to make those happen to try to hedge their bets against when this eventually goes down in the future. So let's see. Hawkeye's getting interesting on Disney Plus, says Joel. That's good to know. I haven't started it. I like both of the leads. What's his name? Her name is Haley Steinfeld. His name is Jeremy Renner. I like both of them quite a bit. And I like Marvel stuff, but I just don't feel compelled anymore to keep up. So eventually I'll watch it, but yeah, not compelled. A sequel to It's a Wonderful Life. Well, I'll wait for you to make that one, and then I'll think about watching it, and I probably won't. You can never go back. Who bought NFL Sunday Ticket? Nobody yet. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. When that is announced, it's going to be big news. So, All right. Okay, cool. I'm trying to think if there's. Oh, you know what? I do need to announce a winner. I did mention for those of you who enjoy the giveaways that we do every week. Here, I'll put that back up. You can go to this page, but like I was saying, we're going to be taking a little bit of a break from these. Last week, we did a drawing for a $50 Amazon gift card, and that Amazon gift card is going to Yasmin Castro. Yasmin Castro is the winner on that. So Yasmin, if Yasmin is watching, then we'll, congratulations, wonderful. We're going to be emailing you about that regardless. So whether or not you're watching, we'll email Yasmin about that. And for the rest of you, like I said, we're kind of taking a break on this page because the Reviews.org team, the people who administer these giveaways, everybody's going on holiday break. I'll still be around. I'm still going to be making videos and doing live streams and stuff. But yeah, a lot of the team is going out for some time off, well-deserved rest, and so we're taking a break from the giveaways until January. But I'm still putting this up there, and you can still check out the link in the description because I would just we are going to be back doing that in January, and I want you to bookmark those pages or that page specifically, and a bunch of others on reviews.org, but that page specifically, so you can participate in the giveaways. But yeah, we are going to take a break from that. I apologize if that hurts anyone's feelings, but we got to do what we got to do, and the end of the year is always it's always a toss up. So let's see. All right, coming in hot with the prediction here. Joel says Amazon will probably get Sunday Ticket. That would be my guess right now. But when Apple TV was the first one out of the gate, and they talked about adding NFL Sunday Ticket to Apple TV, I was intrigued. Just because I love Apple TV, I love Apple TV Plus. I'm a huge stan for that, and I want it to do well. And I think if they picked up NFL Sunday Ticket, it would be very good for them. Let's see. Michael picked up a Chromecast with Google TV for $40. Yeah, that's good. So that deal is still going on. Chromecast with Google TV. Yep, still on sale for $40. Normally $50. Looks like you can get it. Yeah, you can get it straight from the Google store. You go to Walmart, Target. It's all $40 everywhere, which is good. If I have a prediction, another prediction that I didn't go over, it's about the Chromecast with Google TV. So let's talk real quick about what my 5 predictions were for 2022, and then we'll wrap this stream up. So prediction number 1 was that YouTube TV would raise its price to match Hulu. Right now, YouTube TV is at $65. Hulu is next week, I guess, they're going to be at $70. And before too long next year, everybody else is going to be at parity with them. So $70 will be the new norm. Let's see. Number 2, Roku's device prices will go up. I kind of talked about this a little bit a couple weeks ago with what happened with Roku versus Google and some of the requirements with the deal. So because of inflation, because of the microchip shortage. What's the word I'm looking for? Words are hard, you guys. And then because of the new deal where they have to incorporate, I guess we don't know this for sure, but presumably Roku will need to integrate the AV1 codec into their future devices to keep YouTube and YouTube TV. And if that's the case, that's a more expensive chipset for them. So Roku's device prices will go up. I think most devices will, but Roku especially. Let's see. Prediction number 3 is that HBO Max will be the next streaming service to join the 50 million club. I think they were either at it or just below it, and then for HBO Max, I should say. Is that what I said? And then when HBO Max left Amazon Prime channels, or HBO and HBO Max, when they left Amazon Prime channels, they instantly lost 5 million subscribers, just evaporated like that. So now they're back down into the 40s, mid 40s. I think HBO Max is going to be the next one to firmly establish itself as a 50 million subscriber streaming service. And so that'll be in 2022 or like early 2022 probably. And by the end of 2023, I think they'll be knocking on the door of 100 million. Okay, so prediction number 4: live TV subscription rates will drop 3%. So this one gets a little bit more complicated, but basically my prediction is that for now we're going to see live TV rates of all kinds. So cable, satellite, streaming, those subscription rates are going to continue to decline as live TV becomes less and less relevant outside of sports. Sports, news to a certain extent, but you can already get every ounce of news that you could possibly want on like on YouTube, for instance. You just hit the news tab, you get live news right there. It's very, very easy. So yeah, sports will be the last live thing that we watch. With this prediction, so 2022, I think overall live TV usage rates will drop 3%, but it's going to drop even faster in 2023 when NFL Sunday Ticket gets sold. So my fifth prediction is one that we already talked about. That's losing a major live TV streaming player. And my prediction is Philo TV. I would be thrilled if I was wrong on this, to be perfectly honest, because I do like Philo TV, but I think it could be tough for them to make it out of 2022. If you've been paying attention online to your ads that play, whether it's little pop-up ads or video ads or whatever, you may have seen a lot of Philo ads coming up in the last week. And for a service that hasn't really relied much on ads before, it's all been positive word of mouth. You can tell that it's not really cutting it anymore. And so they're using online advertising to try to drum up more business, which, again, hopefully it works. I like Philo quite a bit, but it does read to me like, oh crap, we're bleeding subscribers because you can get everything we do on Discovery Plus and other streaming services for cheaper. So yeah, I think Philo might go. So anyway, those are my 5 predictions. And Michael says picked up a Chromecast with Google TV for $40. That's right. So if I had a 6th prediction, it would be that we'll get a new Chromecast with Google TV model in 2022. The first one is great for a lot of reasons, but it's definitely a first draft. They need a second draft as soon as possible. I think that'll happen in 2022 if they want the Chromecast to remain as relevant as it is. So there you go. Oh, let's see. ESPN Plus is also in the mix for Sunday Ticket. That's good. Yeah, I did remember that. That's a good reminder, though. Let's see. Yeah, supply chain issues. I just can't. Semiconductor. That's the word I was looking for. It's not microchips. It's semiconductors. That's the shortage that we're seeing right now. Let's see. Richie, you're welcome. Let's see. Sonny, your hair looks fab. Pulled back. Thank you very much. It's you guys. It's so long. It's like down to here now. So it's kind of out of necessity now that I pull it back. Let's see. Lots of updates. Ooh, I predicted it'll be YouTube TV because Google has a history of killing products that people like. No, not going to happen. They still have 4 million subscribers, paying right now $65 a month. That's a winner. So they won't get rid of it in 2022. Maybe later, but we'll see. Stephen, hello. And I gotta say, Stephen, first of all, hello, but second of all, goodbye. I'm wrapping this one up. I'm gonna give you guys just a couple more minutes to throw in any other last minute Q&A stuff that you want me to go over. But we're coming up on the hour mark. And frankly, I need some lunch. Okay. I need lunch. I'm sure you can relate. But yeah, we'll wrap this up in just a sec. How much longer till the chip shortage ends? It is projected to last through 2022. This is not like it's not a normal assembly line. When we're talking about a shortage like this, when we're talking about electronics, especially micro, teeny tiny, itty bitty electronics, like that is a delicate and difficult process. You don't just stand up a a plant like that really quickly. And so when this industry took a huge hit, because a lot of this manufacturing happens in China, and so when COVID happened and it spread from there, that was one of the industries that was hardest hit. And you don't just, it's not a lawnmower. You don't just pull the cord and start it right back up. It's going to take some time. So that is projected to last through the end of 2022, if not beyond, until it gets figured out. Let's see. Frayden loves Apple TV Plus too. I always knew I liked you, Frayden. I mean, mostly. Let's see. The Fire Stick 4K Max came out. It was such a minor upgrade. I forgot it was a newer model. It's a minor upgrade, but it was, for me, it was noticeable. If you don't have Wi-Fi 6 in your home, that's one of the major upgrades, so that might not matter so much. But the speed on the 4K Max is so much better than the regular 4K. Its load times, its button lag time, everything was so much smoother, so much quicker. So while it's not like a revolution, it's an incremental upgrade, but it was noticeable and welcome from where I was sitting. All right. Cable TV installer walks into a bar and orders a beer. The bartender says you'll be served sometime between 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Nice. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Sonny says had to return my Fire Cube and get the Fire TV Max. Too many reboots. So yeah, sometimes devices just crap out, and sometimes it's not an indication of everybody's Fire TV Cube, but sometimes that individual device just kind of craps out a little bit, which is too bad. But I love the Fire TV Max. It's almost as good as the Fire Cube. It's not as good, but it's almost. All right. Wi-Fi 6 is great. I want to find this out for myself. I actually don't have it yet. Can you believe it? I'm supposed to be this tech guy and I don't have Wi-Fi 6 yet. I'm still rocking Wi-Fi 5. But you know what? I also have fiber internet. So I get a gig up and down, and I'm doing just fine on Wi-Fi 5 for now. So let's see. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's call it there. I think we got to most of the stuff. I apologize if I missed your question or comment. I always hate that, but I guess I can't respond to absolutely everything. Anyway, I appreciate you guys chilling out for this much more relaxed live stream. Like I said, last week was intense. It was I think we capped out at 3,200 people watching between YouTube and Facebook. And so I think today we capped out around 100, and that's a little more manageable. So for a guy sitting in his studio. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming. I think next week is Christmas Eve. So I haven't decided if I'm going to be streaming on Christmas Eve. I don't see why not. As long as there's something to talk about, I figure I'll be here. So plan on it. And maybe I'll find a Santa hat to go with my pulled back hair. So I don't know. We'll have some fun. We'll do some Christmas stuff. Assuming it happens, we'll make it a fun one, a good Christmas Eve one. And I hope the rest of you are enjoying your holiday season. Enjoy the New Year festivities when we get there and all that stuff. And thank you so much for supporting the channel. Make sure you go to Reviews.org for all of your Reviews.orging needs. And I will see you all next week.